All right, well, good evening and welcome to tonight's regular school board meeting, Monday, December 8th, 2025. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have met official compliance with all official notifications. Roll call, please.
Nick Olson.
Here.
Gorgowski.
Here.
Kathleen Gamon.
Here.
Sarah Huber McCone.
Here.
Shelley Moen.
Here.
Nick Schumacher here. President Steve Wilson.
Here. It's time that you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education held in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for comments by members of the public during the meeting as indicated on the agenda. Members of the public wishing to address the board on any of the topics included on tonight's agenda may do so by signing up on the public comment sign-up sheet by the entrance prior to the start of the meeting. Board requests refraining from making any comments involving personally identifiable information about students, staff, or administration. Comments should be respectful, focused on the items being considered by the board, and will be restricted to 3 minutes in length. Action taken at today's meeting will be final approval unless otherwise noted. And do we have anybody from the public wishing to address the board? All right. Next up, disposition of minutes from November 3, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes from November 3, 2025. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We move on to the report from our superintendent.
Okay, my first informational item is our update from Mr. Liebers. This was his scheduled time to give an update about our middle school progress, and I'm sure you'll want to give some updates on the last couple of days as well.
Sure. So we had a nice presentation prepared for this evening. I had a couple of 8th grade students that were going to be here with me tonight. But in lieu of things, we thought that we should postpone that to the spring, and we'll do another update with our student leaders. They did a lot of work and prepared, so I'm hopeful that we can get them back in here. I'm still going to take you quickly through some slides because I'm really proud of the work that we've been doing, and I think that'll kind of show through here as we go. Some of our successes, our school report card has really come up, which is exciting. I'll show you a little bit more about that. Our behavior referrals are significantly down over the last few years. I'm really proud of our admin team, our coaches, our teachers, staff. We've really have a strong academic focus right now, and it's showing. And also with all of these things, improving the climate culture in our building, attendance continues to trend in a positive direction every year. So we're really pleased with what 65.8 on our last report card. This is a significant improvement, guys. Here's where that stands in our accountability rating with DPIs. We're meeting expectations, but here in the past couple of years, we've jumped up from a 51.7 to 65.8. It's a significant jump, and so we have a lot to be excited about at Superior Middle School. So that was kind of the impetus for our presentation tonight, and then our students were going to take us through some of the reasons why this is all happening and what they really appreciate about being at the middle school. So you can see the reduction in behavior referrals. Our kids wanted to take us through some of their favorite things about SMS. So I'm going to save this for the spring. And, here's the ongoing work. Interventions are happening at a high level for math and reading, and that's what's really improving some of our academic outcomes too. Tier 2 interventions are happening right in the regular ed classrooms, which is a really significant component to all of that. And then again, we're always working on improving attendance, communication, hard work. Our APs do a tremendous amount of legwork and getting families in the door to improve all that. And of course, the culture overall is really getting to that significant improvement in attendance as well. So I'm not going to go further with this slide. At this time, I think it'd be just really important to share a little bit of an update with the incident that happened yesterday early morning. Once the state investigators kind of released the building back to us, our buildings and grounds crew really just jumped in right away. There was a significant amount of cleanup with that front entry. They were able to do a big chunk of the bulk of the cleanup last night and secured that entry. It was a gaping hole in the middle school main entrance. So they boarded that up, got a lot of the big debris out of the way last night. We were working probably late afternoon until 5:30 or 6 to get that shored up, which was very important to get started with planning for the next several days. We've had some contractors in right away this morning to see what needs to be done. And working with buildings and grounds and our custodial staff, we've got a new plan for that exterior to shore that up even more with insulation and make that a really secure entrance. Our goal here is to get our kids back into the building as soon as possible. Two things really have to happen here to make that work. We have to have a secured entrance for daily operations. So we're working hard on that and just the cleanup so that there's not evidence of some mass destruction that seemed to happen yesterday morning. So that's been our really efforts today, along with working with our teaching staff, our coaches, our administration team to get some good solid plans out for our kids so that they have something to work towards. So I'm glad we did some prior work with our planning for at-home learning. So that was a big help to have that in place. That's going to continue for the next 2 days, where our goal is to have our students back in the building Thursday morning. Secured entrance, looking as good as it can. Obviously, there's some new walls going to be put in that entryway. We're missing a couple of doorways, but the building should be functioning in a safe manner. And the cleanup will be ongoing. We have to clean up some glass and some couple of fixtures and in some other areas, but I think we'll be ready to rock and roll come Thursday morning. This has been a Herculean effort to get to where we are even at this point. The Superior Police Department, all the different agencies, we had 5 or 6 different agencies on site yesterday to keep everything safe and contained. I can't thank them enough for their efforts yesterday. Made a really bad incident turn out in the best, most positive way possible at the end of it. So they were instrumental in all of that and utilizing the technology in our building to make all that happen was pretty significant component to that whole thing yesterday. So I'm really pleased with their efforts, and I want to thank everybody. And then our staff just jumping in right away. I had buildings and grounds crew on standby yesterday. As soon as that building got released to us, they were ready to roll. They'd gone to the store to get the lumber and materials needed for last night, and we're just waiting for the building to get released to us so they can jump in. So.
Can I jump in there on one thing?
Yeah.
While Matt's here, Matt, would you mind just kind of sharing the conversation we had this morning about the investments that we made in security and how that kind of helped some of your efforts yesterday?
Yes, absolutely. We've recently, the school district has recently invested quite a bit in safety. One of the big things was the camera system. And I can't go into too much detail. I'm not releasing anything. That's all being done by our chief. But yeah, specifically the camera system was, it was invaluable. It was utilized for 4 or 5 hours, and it gave us information that saved lives, in my opinion. Without it, it would have been much harder to do what we needed to do. In fact, out of the 5 or 6 agencies that were there, They were all waiting on communication from me when I was here in the office using the systems that we have as a school district. And so I'm incredibly thankful. I think everyone is, and I'm just happy that we had that available.
Can you talk about the film on the front? Because I think that's interesting.
Yes, and yeah, that's something I don't think many people
No.
know about at all.
Right.
One of the investments made in the middle school is a resistant or a shatter resistant film on the windows. And it's not bullet resistant. That's what people kind of think sometimes. But what it does is if anything hits it or tries to penetrate, the glass keeps its integrity. So if you had something like an axe and you're trying to make a hole, you're gonna be swinging for quite some time. Instead of normal glass, you hit it once and it all shatters out. And what's pretty magnificent actually is even with that truck hitting that glass and the doors, being blasted off, those panels were intact. The glass panels were. It's something that actually a month or two ago we brought up at one of our safety meetings that we're hoping we can get more of. And this is an example of how valuable that is, and hoping that we can get that in more places.
And it really slows the entrance into the building when that's there.
It-
It doesn't make it impossible, but it
Correct.
significantly
It gives us
slows.
minutes of response time.
Right. And we have that installed in all of our buildings. And some of the conversation that we had last month was the expense and how much it would cost to put it on all the exterior windows throughout, because mostly on the front end of our buildings. So there's other windows on the exterior that it would benefit from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. A threat's not always going to go to the front door.
Right, right. So,
We can't thank you enough, and the entire Superior Police Department, all the first responders, for your work. So thank you for keeping us safe, and best wishes and healing to the officer involved in the shooting. So thank you so much.
So, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt.
So next steps for us, we'll be working with our staff tomorrow again and putting out plans to help open up the building on Thursday, supporting our students who might need it extra support. Our councils will be available for students that might need any support coming back in the building, or teachers that might need any extra support. So we had a safety team meeting this morning and we discussed some of those plans rolling out. So we'll be sharing that information with the rest of our staff tomorrow morning, and really preparing to open those doors on Thursday morning and be a supportive place for our students. And I think we're going to do it just fine because, all the work that we've been putting in these last few years, it's really paying off. Our kids feel comfortable being at our school, our teachers, our support staff. We have a wonderful team. So I think we'll be ready to roll come Thursday morning.
How are the staff doing? Are you hearing anything, Amy or Aaron?
I think everybody's coping differently.
Mhm.
I think all of our kids are coping differently. So I think we're ready, here and ready to support them as needed. And I think it's just a matter of opening the doors and listening, and then, giving people what they need.
Yeah, we've had several in today to grab some items that they might need for these at home learning days. So the response was good. They're impressed with the work that's been done so far. I think people were expecting to see something more, and like I said, a lot of effort's gone into cleaning up the mess and seeing the plan come together about how we're going to secure that front entrance. I think that put a lot of people at ease that were able to come in.
And you mentioned damage to some other cases. Were there damage to other equipment in the building or classrooms?
Some windows and fixtures and things like that. So those are all being addressed as well. It's that important two components to bringing our students back in. The evidence of what happened is mitigated, and having that secure entrance. So a lot of work going into that, but I think we'll be ready to roll.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, the communication from you guys has been great. I mean, from what I've seen and heard, so thank you guys for that.
We always try to predict what questions people have and try to get ahead of those. So if you hear other questions or rumors, please let us know. We'll get that information out.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
I think Matt has a basketball game to get to, so he might leave. Yeah.
Aaron and your admin team that's here, thank you for being here. support of Aaron and the school, obviously, but
Oh, a couple days.
you need to go and relax, get some rest. You definitely do.
I do want to just say, I think Steve, partly why, I think communication and planning has gone well is Aaron's leadership and the APs. Just
Absolutely.
very fortunate to have their leadership. Thank you, Aaron.
Well, even just the good, I mean, it's hard when that is such a huge,
Yeah.
rare thing to happen, but then we also have this really great information about our middle school, which we've just been hoping for so long after many.
It's like Aaron was
years.
so looking forward to tonight to be able to share all
Yeah,
these wonderful things. And so I'm
Yes.
sad for Aaron that he's not able to celebrate some of those things
Yeah.
tonight, but
Yep.
there is so many positive things happening at the middle school. It's really exciting.
We look forward to that then in the spring and
Yeah.
there'll be more.
It's kind of funny, I said, well, some of this stuff is like Mr. Lieber's conversational pieces and the gals were like, we got this, we can handle it. So he'll be ready to go. Come spring.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
Oh, my last informational item is Brendan from Superior High School.
All right,
Yeah.
some updates for you guys. So in recent events, Pledge Makers has hosted their annual Blacklight Volleyball Tournament, which went well. We did some Christmas decorating as a student council. We came in on a Saturday and we made the school festive. We put up
That's
trees, we
beautiful.
put up lights, and I walked in Monday morning and I was in the Christmas spirit. I'm gonna be honest. It looks really good. Now I want to give credit to everyone who helped out on that.
Mhm.
And then DECA has mini districts in 2 harbors this week, and then their district's competition next week. In some student council news, we had some school board members come and visit us this month. They were able to see some of our kind of day-to-day meetings as well as some PSA videos that we were able to film. And we continued with our Bright Ideas contest with the Student Voice Committee. We got the secondary survey sent out, and we got some responses back. And we've been looking through the responses. We had planned to meet with Mr. Haroldson and Dr. Starzecki today, but because of extenuating circumstances, we had to postpone that until next Monday. So I'm excited to meet with you guys to talk about what some of the students and what us as a student council have come up with. Then we have our Frost Fest Spirit Week happening next week, kicking off with some dress up days and then an assembly on Friday. The teacher team is going to be able to get some redemption. Their students will get redemption at the teacher team as the Blacklight volleyball champions face the teachers in the volleyball tournament. So that's going to be fun there. And then kind of next steps as student council going into the new year, we're going to send out a survey and see what events or after school activities that students want to see. So I've heard a lot of requests for like a floor hockey tournament or a badminton tournament. And I want to be able to put on those fun things to kind of keep spirit up and get kids involved. And that's all I got. Does anyone else have any specific questions for me?
Really enjoyed the PSA though when I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to do.
Somebody forgot their lines a couple times.
No bugs, no cuts, coconuts.
That's the one.
It's fun to be at the high school. There's a lot of positive energy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Thank you.
being here.
Thanks for making it. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
One other informational item was, we had the presentation from Four Corners Elementary from Principal O'Donnell. And you can click on that link to take a look at what she presented that evening. There's 2 action items from our superintendent's report. One, the administration recommends approval of the proposed 2026-2027 academic calendar.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to approve the 2026-27 academic calendar. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of overnight field trip request from Leah Herman Gunderson for students in grades 9 through 12 to attend Europe in June of 2027.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second to approve the overnight field trip for students in grades 9 through 12 to attend Europe in June 2027. Is there any further discussion?
Will say that I appreciate her planning this far in advance to help more kids participate.
Mhm.
So I appreciated that.
Great.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board committee reports. First up was the Budget and Insurance Committee report, action items, gifts, grants, and bequests. Administration recommends approval to accept gifts, grants, and bequests received in November of 2025.
Motion to approve.
Motion and second to approve the gifts, grants, and bequests received in November 2025. Is there any further discussion?
Thank you as always.
Yes, impressive list once again. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Informational items, we had reports on our Fund 10 revenue and expenditure. David? This time I'd accept a motion.
Motion to accept the Budget
That's
Insurance
info.
Committee report.
Info.
Sorry.
Oh,
I just went with the,
gotcha.
accept the whole report.
Second.
There's a motion, a second to accept the Budget Insurance Committee report. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Operations Committee, we had an informational item, food service update from Jamie Wilson, Director of Food Service. A very passionate presentation. So
Miss Dan's posted about a field trip out at the school forest and, they provided meals out there too. And I just love, we always think, just our schools, but even out at the school forest, they're providing meals out there. So awesome job.
President Olson, one of the requests, I've had a handful of people ask me what the cost of the damage was to the middle school. I don't have that information. So I've asked David in the next board meeting, just to, if we have that information, to share it at our next operations meeting, just for transparency and clarity of what that is, going through insurance, obviously, but
sense.
yeah.
And I'm guessing we'll be getting bids as well. Or are we not bidding these?
It
jobs?
depends on the size of the
Okay.
projects.
That threshold where we need to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where we need to get.
Yep.
Get done right.
Yep.
And the deductible on insurance for property is $25,000. One thing I have to evaluate is with that outbuilding and that garage being hit, that considered a separate incident, which, no, but we'll see.
Thank you.
When would we have to go to bids? What's our threshold?
$100,000.
100,000?
Motion to accept the Operations Committee report.
Second.
Motion accepted, second to accept the Operations Committee report. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Personnel Negotiations Committee, action items. Administration recommends approval of the December 2025 new hires and separations report.
Motion to approve.
Motion is second to accept the December 2025 new hires and separations report. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Administration recommends releasing Joseph Florestano, math teacher from Superior Middle School, from his 25-26 school year contract per his request effective December 19, 2025, with the liquidated damages provisions enforced.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion is second to accept the releasing of Mr. Florestano from his math position for the 25-26 school year. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Administration recommends approval of the updated salary schedule for the school nutrition manager position.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is and a second to approve the updated salary schedule for the school nutrition manager position. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to accept the Personnel Negotiations Committee report.
Second.
Motion and a second to accept the Personnel Negotiations Committee report. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Teaching and Learning Committee, action items. Crystal Hinsman, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, recommends, and the administration recommends the annual approval of the District Academic and Career Plan, ACP.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the District Academic and Career Plan, ACP. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Administration recommends the approval of District Spartan Library Plan.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the District Spartan Library Plan. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Informational items presented at the Committee of the Whole on December 1. Crystal Hinsman, our Director of Curriculum and Instruction, gave us a very thorough update on the Act 2 and literacy resource. That information is also attached. Kate Tesh, our Director of Continuous Improvement and Assessment, provided us an update on the 2024-25 achievement data and DPI report cards. That is also attached.
Motion to accept the Teaching and Learning Committee report.
Second.
Motion is second to accept the Teaching and Learning Committee report. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Policies and Rules Committee, action items. Administration proposes the approval. Changes to the following policies based on Neola recommendation. First reading of policy 0100 definitions. Several definitions have been updated to make them more current, and a new definition of school district classification has been added.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve policy 0100 definitions. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First reading of policy 0144.5, board member behavior, communication, and code of conduct.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve policy 0144.5. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First reading of policy 4140, termination and resignation.
Motion to approve.
Motion and second to approve policy 4140. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First reading of policy 5112, entrance age.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve policy 5112, entrance age. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. First reading of policy 5464, early graduation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve policy 5464, early graduation. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First reading of policy 8420.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to accept policy 8420, school safety and reporting of crime statistics. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First reading of policy 9151.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve policy 9151. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
President Olson, can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Shelley and I met and talked a little bit about the policy committee. We are all caught up on Neola updates at this point. And so we will have another round. We get 2 updates a year. We'll have another round come probably later in January, mid-January or so. Shelley and I plan to meet to just review all of those. If members of the policy committee also want to join us, they certainly can. We'll talk through kind of how we want to break those up this spring so that there's some thought put into that and you guys have a little more information going into the board meeting. So just wanted to, you anticipate
Yeah, that makes sense.
that update for after winter.
And thank you for all the changes you made.
Yeah, it was good.
There's a lot,
Update.
a lot of small ones, but yeah.
To accept, please.
Motion to accept the policies and rules committee report.
Second.
Motion is second to accept the policies and rules committee report. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Other reports by members of the board. I do have an update about our tax resolution. Chris Hintop, myself, and Chris Hambuck Boyle. We had a meeting and virtually and discussed some of the issues that we were facing, and Chris Hambuck really told us that this is normal, that there always seems to be one group saying you do it this way and you meet with these people and then you go and meet with these other people. So I told you before, we've gone back and forth. Where we are right now is that meetings are being set up first, again, with Mayor Payne and President Lindsey Grasky from the City Council. After that, we will then meet with County President Mark Liebert and legal counsel from them. Mr. Liebert is more understanding now after a lengthy conversation with Ms. Kintop of what this was all about. And we will not have it on the tax statements this year. We are hoping that by April, the way it looks, some of the other hoops that still need to be jumped, that for next year's statement, that this information will be on there. So we're watching very closely what Eau Claire is doing, their entire school district. I shared with you a statement that they had last time that they're proposing and everything, and with their council and their school district council and the city council from Eau Claire, they've come up with pretty solid language and stuff. So we have our resolution. We may tweak it just a little bit to match theirs. So once I get a final statement from Eau Claire, then I'll share that with you to let you see where we would really like our final statement to be. Another thing, the Board of Education nomination papers are available, and you can see Ann in the administrator's office to get your paperwork. Are there any reports, other reports from our board members? You're going to a concert tonight?
Yes, the orchestra concert is happening at the high school at 6 o'clock. Basketball tonight,
Boys basketball.
and I saw the middle school choir concert got rescheduled. Is the listening session?
We're rescheduling that for January.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's being
Thank
rescheduled
you
for
for that.
January. Yeah.
Any other district or program highlights, Superintendent?
You guys covered it all.
Final motion for approval, consideration of bills and pre-approved bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second to pay our bills. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
A motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion is second to adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. May you all have a very joyous holiday season.
Yeah.
Thanks.
you too.
Look out for Chet.
Okay.